So, what should the knees be doing in the squat? Well, there's a couple of arguments that can be made, but realistically when it comes down to it, it's more of what should the knees not do in the squat? Now, a couple of key details that come with this argument is number one, the heels need to stay planted on the ground. Whether that's in heel elevated shoes or not, the heels should stay on the ground. We shouldn't see any changes with the foot. We should be able to see a nice strong arch maintained throughout the whole squat. And when those key details are in place, then these other rules come in. Now, we don't want to see an excessive drive out of the knees to where the foot leaves the ground. If the knees excessively go out, that's not going to be beneficial. Similarly, we don't want the knees caving in either. That's not going to be good in regards to maintaining good ligamental health or any sort of details like that. So when we're looking at the knees from a frontal plane perspective, we can see that what we really want is for the feet to maintain a nice strong platform for the ground, and then the knees to have this bit of the wiggle room, where they're essentially in line with the toes, primarily that second toe. It's a nice stead point where the knee is going to have nice joint congruency where it can maintain its platform of rotation, but without causing excessive stress on either side of the knee. Now, in saying that, if you have the foot drop in and then your knee follows, that's not ideal. And it's going to be the thing that we see the most common. So maintaining good knee position in the frontal plane, we want to maintain nice strong foot position, primarily that arch. So when we're looking at the knee and how far it travels forward, that's going to be more of up to individual preference, because it's going to be a big factor is what does your knee health look like? For an individual who's had a lot of knee injuries, they're going to have a lot of issues with, as the knee goes forward, there's going to be some anterior translation. And for most people, if you've had ACL issues or meniscal issues, it's really going to bother your knee. So for most of those people, we're going to see a much more hip dominant squat, where they're shifting those hips really far back and they're going to just not have as much knee pain from that. However, if you don't have any issues like that, letting those knees travel more forward, it's going to allow you to stay more upright, it's going to allow you to use your quads more, it's going to be a more beneficial squat in general. When we're looking at that squat, if the knees are really far forward, we're going to be able to stay more upright, which is going to reduce the stress on our back. So it really comes down to, does your knees allow for the reduced stress on the rest of your body? If it doesn't, then that's going to be the factor that you have to consider. And that's where the more hip dominant squat is going to come in. However, when we're talking about knees forward, a very critical detail is that the heel has to maintain its position on the ground. If you're going forward, but your heel is leaving the ground, now we're putting excessive stress on the knee, and that is never going to be an ideal situation. So, in summary, a couple of important details. Number one is we want to maintain that foot position. If that foot position where we have the heel down and the arch is maintained, it's going to be really difficult for the knee to do very many wrong things. If that foot is maintained in all those positions, ball of the foot is down, heel is down, we're not going to be able to get an excessive external rotation to where it's going to be too hard on the knees. Obviously, if you are really cranking on it hard, it's going to be damaging, but generally people aren't going to be able to do that. Now, additionally, if the knees are dropping in, we're going to usually see some the internal rotation of the tibia, which is going to lead to some pronation at the foot. So if we're able to resist pronation at the foot and maintain that knee position, we shouldn't see the knees dropping in. So from the frontal plane perspective, as long as that foot position is maintained, we should see minimal movement within the knees. Now, from the forward and back perspective, if our knees are healthy, letting them travel more forward is going to reduce the stress on the rest of our body, and it's going to be a more ideal situation to be able to lift more weights. However, if that is not your case, and we have to go to a more hip dominant squat, that's all right. It's not the end of the world by any means. It's going to allow more longevity, because if you're going through a motion that is very damaging or hurtful to your body, such as trying to force knees forward, that's not going to be what you want to do. However, if you are interested in learning how to progress to more knees forward, contact me at sam@roughcittathletics and we can discuss some strategies to help you along that journey. So, hopefully you guys learned some things this week in the Powerlifting for Aesthetics series. We discussed knee position in a squat, what it should look like, and we'll catch you guys next time.